Another super rainy day here. Again. We had to find a campground last night because the spot that we were at didn't work. But we're gonna try to get some coffee at a coffee shop that looks really cool right now.
Oh my God.
And it is crazy raining today. So hopefully the weather gets a little bit better, because this is not just a little rain shower. It's kind of pouring at times with a lot of wind, and makes it a little bit miserable for a rooftop tent.
So the plane is a DC-3. It was built in the US in 1944 as part of the military. They were building a fleet of aircraft that were headed to Normandy during the Second World War in France. So after the war, it was decommissioned, and the Chilean government bought the plane in the early 70s for an Antarctic mission to map the southern Chilean Antarctic region so that they could plan how they were going to build the Carretera Austral. So the plane, these are the original wings, but the Chilean government had to change the wings for much bigger ones to cope with the conditions of Antarctica for landing and taking off. The Antarctic mission to map the region, on almost the last day of the mission, the plane had to make an emergency landing due to freak weather. And the pilot was experienced enough in this area that he knew that his best chance of a safe landing was in a small stretch of forest 6 kilometers from here, where the movement of animals between farms had created a bit of a cut line. So he landed there. The wings were immediately torn off by the trees either side, but the fuselage remained in good condition, and nobody was injured. He had his 10-year-old son on board with him that day. It was the school holidays. It was the 18th of January 1974, so we just had our 50-year anniversary. And then there were 6 other crew members on board, including the mechanic who we met last month. It was the first time we've ever met anyone that was in the crash. And the military sent a crew to come and rescue everyone. I'll show you a picture of them. That's the crew that arrived the next day. There was a local farmer who'd heard the crash and came out to investigate what had happened on his horse, and found the crew and made his way to Chaiten to tell local police that he knew exactly where the crash site was. And then with horses, they brought the military team in to pick everyone up.
Wow.
And normally the military would have taken the whole kind of crash site, would have taken everything with them, but because of the inaccessibility, no roads, they had to leave everything there. And a year after the accident, a family that lived here called the Anabalon family, they asked permission from the government if they could take the fuselage. So with their oxen, they pulled it here. It took them about 4 days, and they turned it into their home. They lived inside the plane.
Oh, wow.
They lived in it for nearly 20 years. It was 2 brothers and a sister, and they spent 15 years with machetes cutting this road that goes from where we are now right down to the River Yelcho. It's about 5 or 6 kilometers long, and when they finished the road, they moved to the river, which was always the plan, I think. Carlos and Ruth, they're our neighbours, so we see them from time to time, but I have a photo of them from 3 years ago when we raised the plane. That's Carlos and Ruth, brother and sister. And yeah, they've been extremely supportive, And when we open the museum, we're turning the plane into a museum now to tell us the full story. And they've given us lots of really nice pictures of what the house looked like inside when they lived there. It was beautiful. The plane has always been here as the village has grown, so it's a really important part of the history of this community, but also of kind of the region and the building of the road. And yeah, it's when we started to uncover more layers of the story about it being in the Second World War, we were, just even more determined that we had to do something with it.
It's incredible how you can come across places like this on Instagram and then later actually see it for yourself. Thank you, Beth, for telling us your story, and we wish you all the success.
Today we're driving about 128 kilometers to Futaleufu, which is slightly off track from the main Carretera Austral, to do some hiking. We had quite a bit of a rainy day so far today, and we drove the whole way to Futaleufu, and this is a cool little town. There's some good restaurants to eat here, and it is also beautiful, surrounded by lakes. There's plenty of lakes that you can go hike, and rivers, and that's what we're doing right now. We're doing a hike to see one of these beautiful rivers with the famous turquoise water. Now it's not gonna look as cool because the sun is not out, but you can still see the color quite a bit. So that's the plan for today, and then we're driving to La Junta, and we're gonna find camp there. Stopping to get some coffee in Villa Santa Lucia. Found this spot on Google when we were planning our trip. A little coffee shop. It looks really cool, and we're always looking for coffee and good coffee, so hopefully this is it. We always enjoy going to places like this where you can enjoy a hot cup of coffee next to the fireplace and talk to people from all over the world who share similar experiences and their adventures.
planning on doing the hike to the Hanging Glacier in Coyhaique National Park, and as you can tell, it's raining again. So I think we're going to modify our plans a little bit. So possibly tomorrow, if the weather is good, I'm gonna try to come back to do that hike because it's really cool. If not, it's not really worth it to do the hike because the Hanging Glacier is out of the distance and it was covered by the clouds. It's not, there's no point on it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It was something, it was definitely on our bucket list for this
For
trip.
sure.
But putting in the effort of going on the hike to not be able to see anything when you're a family of 5, you kind of have to make tough decisions. So it's all right. We're just hoping that tomorrow the weather's better.
Most of this road is actually paved for the most part so far, but you know, there's spots that it's not. It's kind of weird. It doesn't make sense why it's paved in certain areas and why it's not in
Yeah, there's
others.
no rhyme or reason.
No.
And really also there's little notification that the road's gonna switch to being gravel again. So you just like go over a bridge and all of a sudden you're back on a gravel road. So just be aware of that when you're down here too.
Yeah.
Driving.
Take a picture of that. That has to be the smallest gas station I've ever seen. And they only have diesel. That's the only thing that they have. Nothing more than that. So with all the rain, we are not cooking in the truck because it is pouring out.
And I'm a little bit disappointed about it, but I mean, when you get options like this,
Yeah, this place is
you don't
awesome.
complain.
We're in Putaleufu,
Putaleufu.
and we are at the restaurant El Muelle. And we're gonna see what they have to eat here because it looks amazing. After a good meal and a very good coffee refill, we continue heading south towards Puerto Cisnes. On the way, we saw several large, stunning waterfalls.
Down, scattered clouds, smell of spring outside. Open road, you sitting close. Let's go somewhere far away. 'Cause if all I have is you, then I'll be just fine. Yeah, I'll be just fine.
That was beautiful with the waterfalls and everything. Like, it's just insane. Like, I'm sure in a clear blue sky day is just 10 times better. And it was super nice even with the rainy and the clouds and everything else, all that weather. So yeah, so we're gonna give it a shot tomorrow, but for tonight we're driving to Puerto Cisnes. The people that we rented the truck from, they have an Airbnb there, and they offer us to stay there for free tonight. So we're gonna definitely take advantage of that, get some showers and maybe do some laundry if they have it, and cook some good food and maybe chill by a warm fireplace. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. We would like to thank Campers Patagonia for allowing us to stay in this beautiful rental located in Puerto Cisnes. This beautiful rental comes with everything you need to get a break from the camper, which includes 4 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, a fully stocked kitchen, a comfortable living room, washer and dryer, and also you are allowed to use the fireplace.
Campers Patagonia has several different vehicles that you can pick to rent to do this route, which includes a van, multiple trucks with rooftop tents, and several travel trailers. We are very thankful that they were willing to have plenty of flexibility with us because they were the only company that were able to drop off the truck in Puerto Montt at the beginning of the Carretera Austral for us. Puerto Cisnes today, and we are going to be driving to Aysén, which is another port town. We just want to check it out just so we don't miss it, and then we're going to be driving towards Coyhaique and keep making our way south in the Carretera Austral towards O'Higgins, which is the final destination of this trip. Just got soaked. That's crazy. That water pushes down. Like it's like wind that just all of a sudden it changes direction and you get soaked. Crazy.
So after 3 plus, I don't know, Alex, what, 3-4 days of rain, dark clouds, overcast, just rain, we come around a bend and there's blue skies, there's a rainbow. This is amazing.
Finally.
Finally.
So I've always loved this beer that comes from Patagonia called Dolbeck. And little did I know that when we went to the brewery, we would get to meet the guy that is on the beer bottles himself. Thank you, Charlie, for telling us your story and for a great meal at your restaurant.
Join us in our next episode when we continue heading south, enjoying more sunny days and the famous Patagonian marble caves. See you then.